How are we all doing, everybody? Welcome back to the Sean Atwood channel. A little later than usual. We are just waiting on the one and only Uber, who I've just pinged a link over to. I just needed to start this out the gate. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here. This is a case that Uber is super passionate about. I know very little about this case. So I'm looking forward to sort of getting brought up to speed. And yeah, until then, we'll just have a little chitty chat with each other. I do apologize about my camera being off. It will be back on for the shows tomorrow. And I just hope everyone is having a good freaking weekend. Now, hang on a second. Uber's just messaged me. 1 second. One moment, please. Apparently he's in the studio waiting. Hang on a sec. Oh yeah, there he is. Hey, what's happening?
Can't get the stuff. Hello, mate.
I didn't see you down there, you little rascal. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm very, very well. Very, very well.
We are professionals, honestly.
Yes, we do, in fact, know what we are doing. Now, what I'm going to do, mate, is I'm going to grab the images that you sent over of the parents that are in the thumbnail. Can you?
I can share screen as well, can't I? Yeah,
but you just have to be careful of some words and stuff. News reports and things are great.
Yeah.
Not Reddit
I'm just using what's already been put out there.
That's great, mate. If you can bring that up on screen, that honestly dilutes my job here to virtually.
So what do I do here then?
Legend.
How do I?
It's all right. You see down the bottom.
Share screen.
That's it. And then just click it and I'll accept it for you, mate.
Yes. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do, this isn't the one. This is the one we want.
You got this, mate. Just while everyone is watching two blank screens on the screen having a conversation with themselves.
Can you see that?
Nope. No, what you need to do is you need to press the present button down the bottom and then share screen. And then select it and then click OK, and then it'll appear down the bottom, and I have to bring it in for you.
How's that?
There you go. Perfect, mate.
Right.
There we go. Now, what you might need to do is make your screen so that it's not a tiny little squished thing on the screen there.
What do you mean?
Well, you see how your screen's like...
Full screen.
There you go. Absolutely perfect. Yep, perfect. Okay, so this is the interview with the parents, right?
It is, yes. This is
before we dive into that, let me just bring up the case that this is. Billy and Jack. So this is a current case, right? This is like all happening right now.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Okay, so the ground and air teams renew search for rescue efforts for Lily and Jack. That's the right case, right? Mm-hmm. All right, good lad. So let me just read through this. So renewed ground and air search efforts took place in Lansdowne Station, NS on Saturday for 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan. We found 5 of the teams across the province here from the Strait area, Pictou County, Colchester.
Pictou County.
Actually, hang on. There's a lady that can explain this. Hang on a minute. There's a lady that will explain this. 1 second, Uber.
I was just about to. I was just about to bring it in.
It's all right. 1 second. 1 second. I'll let you bring that. Let's get through this little intro here. Let me just see what this is about.
Nova Scotia.
I like to mute myself. 1 second.
Where there is a renewed search for 2 young siblings who vanished without a trace more than 2 weeks ago. Today, teams were back near their rural home searching for the children. Here's a timeline of this case so far. 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing from their home in Pictou County Friday, May 2nd. Nova Scotia RCMP launched a search with more than 100 people involved on the ground and in the air. On day 6, the RCMP announced the search for the missing kids was being scaled back. While most crews left the area, dive teams scoured local bodies of water but found no evidence. On day 12, police issued a release saying they were following up on more than 180 tips and identified 35 people for formal interviews. And on Friday, RCMP announced the search would resume this weekend. More than 100 volunteer searchers are back in the sparsely populated area 140 kilometers northeast of Halifax. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth is there.
The RCMP won't say what prompted the resumption of search efforts for Lily and Jack Sullivan. But when Daniel Martel heard the news, he felt a wave of renewed optimism that his stepchildren might finally be found.
It fills me with a lot of hope, seeing drones in the sky and seeing people.
All right. So, Uber, this is mad. So these two kids just vanished without a trace, right? Is this what they're saying?
Yeah, that's the narrative. Yeah, that's basically.
I missed it. I missed it at the start of that interview. Where did they vanish from? Was it their home?
Let me bring this in for you. All right.
Yeah, do that.
This is currently missing Lily 6 and Jack 4 Sullivan from Nova Scotia, Pictou County, on the Garlock Road in the Lansdowne Station area of Nova Scotia, Pictou County in Canada. They were reported missing 10 a.m. on Friday the 2nd of May. I was made aware of this Wednesday. So what, that's second, third, fourth.
Yeah, in all fairness, you have been on this like a rash and been on my
I have, yeah, I've been like a dog with a bone on this.
Yeah. I am. Okay, right.
So yeah, and what we're going to be doing, we're going to be looking at the parents' pleas on their interviews to the media, and I'm going to rip them apart basically, and we're going to look at every tiny little thing. So yeah, are we ready? Because I'll crack on with it now. Have you dropped out again, Ron?
Yep, no, Ron forgot he muted himself.
Oh.
Yeah, well, let me get to the end of this news interview, and then we'll go in with your full presentation, mate.
All right, mate, no problem.
People back hard at work.
The initial search for the missing kids was called off after only 6 days. Now, 5 search and rescue teams from across Nova Scotia are once again on the ground scouring this treacherous terrain.
The woods here are pretty nasty. There's a lot of storm damage, so there's a lot of deadfall in that. The ticks are really bad. We've had people come out and say they could see them crawling around on the ground.
Search teams are relying on scientific models in their pursuit. There are stats and studies that show how far children could possibly travel in areas like this. Search and rescue manager Amy Hansen says rescue workers are focused and re-energized.
One of the reasons that we did actually suspend was because of the exhaustion and the stress. And we were starting to see more injuries. Everybody's rested, refreshed, ready to go. They're still going to push themselves to the point where they can't anymore.
More than 100 rescue workers are combing through several square kilometers of dense forest, marking off each area searched with a ribbon.
We're also expanding out into areas that we haven't really had boots on the ground in, just to get more areas covered off.
Martel says the last 2 weeks have been a nightmare for his family and the entire community.
This is absolutely heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking, not just for me and Malay and the families, but it's heartbreaking for all of Pictou County.
He's hoping for a miracle, praying 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan will be found. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Lansdowne.
So that's the stepdad, right? Is that right?
Yeah, that's the stepdad. Yeah.
All right. I've got a funny feeling Uber's got some stuff to tell us about this. I don't think this is going to play out the way I thought it was, Uber.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I feel like I need to order something to eat, Uber. Like
crack on, mate.
I feel like I need to snack. Take me through this. So we've got these missing kids. We've got the mother and we've got the stepdad on the screen here. Did they vanish from the home, Uber, or were they playing, or do we know?
Right. Well, when you'll see the narrative start right out of the gate. It literally starts from the second.
All right.
So
You've got it. You planned this all. I'm going to shut up. You're like, Ron, you're spoiling my show.
yeah,
Okay.
I have planned
Do your
it.
thing.
Yeah.
All right, do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing.
All right. So have
Also,
I got screen share up now? Have I?
Yeah, you got screen share up. Also, when you play anything, you need to mute yourself. Otherwise, we hear it twice. And
I've got headphones in anyway. So
no, it doesn't matter. So
okay.
yeah,
So
it won't matter.
Mute my mic, do I, while we play?
Well, I tell you what, press play and we'll see if it does it.
Okay. Here we go. This is Malaya Brooks Murray, the mother of Lily and Jack. I don't know when this interview was done. About 2 days after they were reported missing. All right. So.
All right.
What I want you to do is I want you to pay very close attention to what I said before I started this presentation. What was the first thing I said to you guys? All right. And we're going to have a listen now. All right. Have a listen to this.
I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home.
All right. Now, I'm going to say nothing. All right.
What happened was we woke up.
There we go. Okay. So here goes. What happened was, you just know, all right, anybody in statement analysis knows, you hear those words, it's not going to bode well. Okay. Because what happened was it's like a qualifier, but it's a lead up. You're being primed rather than just go straight to what the problem is. My kids are missing. That's what's going on. My kids are missing.
Give us,
not me.
Treat us like we're 8-year-olds a little bit. So
that's
give
exactly
us
what it's
more,
like. It's a prologue.
Yeah, well, give us some more.
All right. So
yeah, I'm with you.
I'm
with you. Put it back.
I heard them playing in the next room beside us.
All right,
I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up. I heard them playing in the next room beside us. And I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them.
Now, did you hear what she said there?
They're not the sort of. Yeah, listen. You tell me what you think. I thought I heard, and I'll tell you if I heard it, because I definitely heard something.
This is what she said, right? During her prologue, right, her monologue to prime us for this money shot that she's coming up with, she says, they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go and play out on their own. So basically what you're saying is they're the type of kids to go play out on their own. They're not the type of kids that we tell them don't play out on your own. Do you hear what do you understand? What that statement actually says, what that sentence says is, they're exactly the type of kids that will go playing out on their own because we don't watch them, because we're neglectful parents. That's what that says. All right. Do you understand where I'm coming from? I can't hear you, Ron. Anyway, I'm going to carry on.
Sorry, Ron's muted himself again. I'm sorry. Yeah, no,
right,
what your point there, when you've got parents that say they're not the sort of kids to, go out and play by themselves, they know not to do that. Do you not think that's quite a passive thing that parents would say?
Well, it's the need to convince. She needs to persuade her.
The only times I've ever heard parents say stuff like that isn't when their kids are missing. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, actually,
exactly. Yes.
My kids know not to do that. My kids know not to do that, actually, Wendy, Karen, in that sort of context. But maybe you're right in this one,
It comes from the need to persuade. But if you actually listen to her exact words, what she says is, they're not the type of kids that we tell them don't play out. So they're saying you don't tell them not to play out. They are the type of kids that are going to play out on their own, because clearly you're not watching them, are you? But anyway, she's not done there. She's going to carry on. Let's have a listen.
Yeah, let's go.
Watching them. And
do you hear the upwards inflection in her voice? I'm going to do this, and we're doing this. Do you hear that? That's because she's not confident in what she's saying. So whenever you hear the upwards inflection in anywhere like this, someone's telling you what's happened, supposedly in past tense, all right, that upwards inflection is statistically you're looking at deception, because what they're doing is it's more of an asking a question. And what a lot of liars do is they look at you as and you'll see her do it to this interviewer. As the voice inflects upwards, they'll give you a look. And what Greg Hartley calls that from the behavior panel is romancer. And what it is a lot of people seem to think that liars will look away from you when they're telling it. That's not true. Statistically, liars will actually look at you as they deliver the lie, because they want to see your body language to see if you're picking up and you're believing it. So they want to know if the mud's sticking.
Is that the difference between, say, a confident liar and an unconfident liar, do you think? The look at it in the eyes.
No, it's not different, because a confident liar and an amateur liar that's not very good at it can still exert the same behaviors.
All right.
But a sophisticated liar will do. Well, these aren't particularly sophisticated liars, but they're giving it their best anyway.
Okay. And what was the name of the upwards voice thing that you said?
The inflection, the voice inflection.
Okay. Can you take it back about 15 seconds and let it play for about 30 seconds, and we'll and then come back in with your points, mate, because it's interesting. Crack on.
To go outside on their own, we always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no.
Hear that? Okay, you hear that? She says, I tell him, we're 55 seconds into this.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
All right.
It's not, like, I'm not being funny. That is a wild thing to say, that you just look round and they were gone. Like, if the kids have escaped through a sliding door that you've got prior knowledge of that makes no sound when it opens, I'm thinking perhaps lock the door, right? Like, stop the sliding door from opening. Put a bell on it. You know?
Yeah, you'd expect normal, sane, sober, prudent, moral parents to do that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Bailey, I'm not sure we're dealing with.
That's what we're going to do. Yeah, Bailey's right. Yeah. So, what we can't watch it all the way through without stopping, Bailey, because it's against YouTube terms of service. But we can put it back to the beginning and play it to about 1.5 minutes, and then Uber will stop it, go over the points, play it another 1.5 minutes. Yeah, it's great from like, if you're at a university where everyone was studying this, you're doing it the right way for that. But it's not. It's a podcast, and we've got to, like, treat everyone as if they're 7 or 8. Like, I like to be treated with knowledge like this, because it can be complicated. So stick it back to the beginning, and then let it play to 1.5 minutes, and then pause it at about 1.5 minutes, mate.
All right, mate. Here we go.
Legend.
I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was, we woke up. I heard them playing in the next room beside us. And I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now, but we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. All right, not just.
I was going to finish the sentence.
I missed it the first time round, where she said the kids have gone out the sliding door. We got up. I woke up and then we got up. Like, were they crashed out? Are they passed out? Was this during the night? During the day? Like, what time were they reporting this?
This basically, they were reported missing at 10 a.m. on Friday the 2nd of May.
I mean, so the kids. So let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. They're really good parents, right? You've put your kids to bed, right? Mm-hmm. You've got prior knowledge of the no sound sliding door, okay? Which, by the way, you know, unless you're doing them very, very slowly, aren't the most renowned doors for not. There's a lot of like, you know.
There's no such thing as a silent sliding door. Wherever there's friction, there's going to be noise. Simple, doesn't matter what sort of materials you're using.
So you either lock the door. I mean, am I an idiot here? Like, if you put the kids to bed, you know they're going to get up in the morning. 9 times out of 10, kids are going to get up before their parents until they start school, and then that whole journey begins.
But
so it would make
sense. Lily had been off for 2 days. Yeah.
So I'm just spelling it out in the most obvious way where this is heading, because it's, oh God, what has happened here?
Before I delve into this fully, deeply, and have a proper good look, we're 1 minute 34 seconds into the video.
Yeah.
All right. She started talking about what, 6 seconds?
Yeah.
So about 1 minute 28. Her children are missing.
Yeah.
She hasn't once mentioned them by name.
Okay, interesting.
She said they're good kids. Listen to what she says about the kids.
Okay, we will do. When you play it from here, let it play to about 3 minutes.
All right.
I appreciate
that's fine. That's fine. Just let it play.
You're off. Call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet.
What, mate?
I was just saying, let it play. You were just because you're
just call 911.
You're all good.
All right.
One is just. I just had the instinct. I need.
She slips into present tense as well, which is a really good indication of deception, because she's not speaking from experiential memory. We covered this on my last analysis. When you're getting somebody that's speaking in telling you about something that's happened, it should be in past tense, but she slips into present tense. So she's not speaking from experiential memory. What we call that is the free editing process, the FEP, which basically means she's making it up as she goes along. So that whole bit there is deceptive. Straight away we flag that's deceptive because she slips into present tense. So, you know, we know basically whatever happened before Friday morning. Whatever happened to those kids happened before Friday morning, because the narrative starts from them being in bed, just waking up on Friday morning. So if the narrative starts there, that means whatever happened before this, because this is where the narrative is starting.
Hey, listen.
Lily was off school for 2 days, though, Ron. So we don't know if they went missing during the night, the Thursday, or any time we went. Do you know what I mean? She hadn't been seen at school since Tuesday, mate. So there's speculation that they could be missing. They could have been missing 2 or 3 days before she even reported it. We don't know. All we know for sure.
The last public sign of life was them at school, but they hadn't been there for 2 days. So arguably, if there is the foul play narrative, there's a large window here. Okay,
they've got at least 48 hours head start.
So also, though, if you're a creepy, you know, drifter looking to abduct a couple of kids, this is how it would also play out. I don't think her testimony in the way that she would be talking would be the same, but you know, hey, devil's advocate, innocent until proven guilty.
Well, let me just point something out to you here. Just have a look at this. You see her? Can you see where my cursor is? Her forehead there.
Yeah.
There's no glabella. Now, the glabella is otherwise known as the grief muscle, and it's a horseshoe-shaped muscle that you get in the middle of your head when you're going through intense grief. There isn't any grief in her voice. There's no chin boss. There's no tears. there's no grief. This woman is not grieving for missing kids. I'm going to guess she's thankful to be bloody rid of them. Do you know what? Do you know the sort of vibe I'm getting from this? The Moors murders job. You know, Hindley and that. This is the vibe I'm getting from that, because there's some really, really nasty things going on here.
Yeah, again, though, we've got to remember what we're saying here, okay? So
yeah, no, I'm just going by what statement analysis tells me. That's all, you know.
I know, but that is one of those sort of tell it to the defamation court situations.
Right.
So just to be clear to everybody, that we are just speculating here. We are not in any way projecting any criminal motive onto these parents, even though
this is the opinion of an amateur behavior analyst.
Just so you know, it looks real sus, right?
Doesn't it look odd? Doesn't it? Nothing looks right about it, does it, mate? When you listen to it, it just feels off. I mean, look, I got switched onto this on the Wednesday. What?
We've got to present this. Play it up to about 3 minutes. Let's carry on through this, and then we'll cut back to it, because
I want to cover him as well. You see, so I don't want to go too much over the news.
Just cover up. Just play it up until his bit. That's a good idea.
Sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet.
How did she know the kids were outside playing?
Exactly. None of it adds up, mate.
This is why we need to replay it a couple of times. You're sleeping, you mad. You know. Let me back, Ron. Dial it back. So you're sleeping, right? The kids have left through the silent magic door, and they're outside playing. You don't know if they're outside playing. Okay, carry on, Uber. I just wanted to make sure I heard that right. Carry on, mate.
Yeah, you heard it right. All right, mate.
All right.
Right, here we go.
I tell him, my partner, Daniel.
Do you know that? I tell my partner, Daniel, she's moved out of the county since this. They live together in this.
No. You're not. How does this? So what you're saying is, tell me how logical this sounds. So Uber and I are a modern family, okay? Our kids, we've put our kids to bed. Me and Uber go to bed. We're tucked up in bed, right? I wake up in the morning and go, Uber, the kids were outside playing, but they're gone now. What? So have I gotten out of bed to see if the kids are out there? Because it sounds like she says she woke up and instantly had this telepathic notion that our kids were gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, what we call that is a temporal lacunae, which is like a time lapse. Because she skips time.
Okay.
And it's also softening language as well. And
you're hitting me with all the science words, man. I'm too dumb for this. Just play the video. We're getting it, though. We're getting it.
Good.
Do you hear the kids?
You wait for the punchline.
No. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. It's just...
That was the present tense pitch. Did you hear that? Blatant.
I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off.
What we call that is subtle victim blaming. What they're saying is they'll talk to anybody. They'll talk your ear off. So if they get taken, it's their fault. That's what they're coming from. A lot of abusers use that. You know this yourself. A lot of abusers use that language.
That is version of the 1930s approach to our wording, where women were asking for it for wearing tights with
yeah. Basically, yeah. So it's called victim blaming, yeah, and that's what she's doing there.
And I just want to reiterate, we are at no point saying that's what's happening. We're just two guys on the internet having a conversation. Yep. This is all allegedly. Okay, maybe if you don't want people to find you things that you say suspicious, don't say things like, "Oh, I was asleep, but my kids were outside playing, and then I woke up and ran outside just because I felt this weird." I mean, it's a bit sus. Roll the VT.
They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate.
They're just extremely not. My kids, there's no possessive pronoun there. They're just sweet kids. Not they're my sweet kids. I want my babies home. They're just sweet kids. They call that psychological distancing language.
The huge search effort going on right now, but we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing.
Just a possibility. Also, the narrative we're pushing. We don't
Just
really,
to let everyone know. Oh, just to let everyone know. Don't worry about it. If you can make the post, that would be great. But don't worry about it too much. Listen.
And again,
I want to let you know. Have you got a minute? Can I just let you know these two wonderful children are missing?
Yeah.
What?
Not even wonderful children. Children that will talk your ear off.
No. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Roll the VT. Give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's go.
But still, no grief. We're still seeing or hearing no grief whatsoever.
We had people text me saying that they weren't aware someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain.
Yeah, there were boot prints found on the property going in the direction of the road. You know yourself, I've actually been speaking to investigators on this case. And I even said to them that I wouldn't be surprised if the boot. I genuinely feel that the boot prints are a red herring. So you might want to focus.
I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to boot prints. There's been a very
no, there were boot prints found. We know this on the property, but I've always said from I think that's a red herring, and it looks like.
So we've got boot prints coming into the property. So there is evidence of abduction here. Okay.
No, there isn't. That's the investigators are saying there is absolutely no evidence of an abduction at all. No.
Okay. So if there's bootsteps or boot prints coming up to the house, the mothers
they're coming away from the house.
Oh, coming away from the house.
Yeah, they're little kids' boot prints coming away. From
little kids' boot prints.
I think so. Yeah, I think they're kids' boot prints.
Okay.
So whatever, it doesn't matter whose boot. There'll be a red herring. There'll be nothing to do. You understand what I'm saying later on when you hear him talk.
Honestly, I just need you to play this video so that the people in the side chat can understand what's going on with this case.
Wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just
they do have possible autism. Well, they either have autism or they don't.
Bro, play the video, bro. Play the video. Play the video.
Issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds.
What?
And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
The last few days are
right. This is him coming up next.
Like, dude, like she seems like it's a bit odd the way that all went. I'm not gonna lie.
Isn't it? And see,
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Everyone deals with things differently, right? We can't just assume what is textbook is always textbook, but it is a bit weird. Like, why would you do it? Why would you do it? Like, just from a basic parental point of view, like we all know to check our doors before we go to bed, right?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't seem like that crazy, but are we talking about a 3 and a 4-year-old whose normal routine is getting themselves up and going out and playing? Because that seems crazy to me. I mean,
6-year-old, by the way.
4 and a 6-year-old, sorry. That seems mad, right? And that does seem mad. And then we have they'll talk to anyone, but then the next sentence is they are verbal. So they must show signs of being non-verbal. So if they're not super verbal, how are they super chatty? Then we're throwing in they could possibly be autistic. Like, great, that's great. Throw that in there, but it's almost painting a picture of what you would classically expect from a kid wandering off case. You know, are they trying to just say that what a bear came along? Or a freaking griffin picked them up?
I think what they're inferring is they're trying to say that the kids have been taken, but there's no evidence to suggest that. And the police have even said that. RCMP are adamant about that. So absolutely no evidence. I know that this. Less than 10 seconds into her monologue, her prologue, her plea, my heart sank. Because I just my head snapped round. I looked at it and I just thought, here we go. We've got another one. And then when I see his, it's just
let's move on to Stepdaddy. Let's see what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't know what day this was done, but we're gonna have a look anyway. Because do you want to see this? This guy's going for an Oscar. He's really going for it.
The last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning, when we noticed that the children were gone, immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there. Very first day, I wasn't around very much because I was just searching. I was running through the woods, screaming their name till my throat hurt. We were searching. We covered everywhere possible. Even in the first day, we did. Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can, just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in a military outfit said I could go back into the woods.
All right, now I'm just going to pause that there a second, because that is the first time we see any sign of any type of emotion from this geezer.
Yep.
And it's all fake. It's all fake. Look, emotions do not work that quickly. They just don't. What's got to happen is that neurotransmitters have to get to work in your brain, and then hormones are released to start taking effect. Emotions don't come and go in the space of about 4.5 seconds. They just don't work that quickly. So that's a clear and easy way of spotting a fake. Is how quickly their emotions work.
All right. I just want to point out as well, we could be totally wrong. We could be nailing this. We're just two guys on the internet looking at some public footage, giving our 2 cents. Ain't that right, my G?
Yeah, we could be completely out there gone. Wrong.
And you know what? We're all right with it because we're honest about it.
I'm more than happy with that.
But I'll be honest with you.
On the way.
It's looking a little bit suspicious.
It's a little bit. It's not boding well for them, is it?
Like,
Let's be honest.
Just a wee smidgeroo. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a wee whisper of shenanigans.
Yeah.
All right.
And the fact that she's moved out of the county now as well. Those two are split up, and she's moved out of the county.
Wait, what?
So her kids are missing, and she moves right out of the county. What?
They've
split up, and she's moved out of the county. They're both accusing each other of shit.
Nothing suspicious about that.
Nothing to see here, is there?
Nothing suspicious about that at all, chat. At all.
No, nothing.
I mean, I'm sorry. So I obviously misheard you. So in the 2 weeks that our kids have been missing, she's broken up with the stepdad and moved away from where.
In the 2 weeks, in the 4 days.
Wait,
she moved out literally pretty much as soon as she gave her first interview, which was there.
Wait, what day did you say this happened?
This was reported. They were reported missing on Friday, the 2nd of May.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks ago, bro. That's why I said 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but she moved out, I think, on the Sunday. I think she was gone before the end of the weekend.
Oh yeah, well let's not assume. But
no, she was. It's all been reported. She has moved out. It's all over.
The timeline, bro, not the event. The timeline.
I don't
Nothing.
Understand.
Don't worry about it. So that's wild. Like that is damning, bro. Like that is damning. Right, yeah, like hit play again for us, my G.
Okay.
They hate being wet and cold. So they immediately would have came right back into the house. The only two prints are right beside the house facing the road, and then that's it. Post any officers they can get, head into Brunswick border, PI border, and get them at every airport possible. Anybody who has any information, or you think you've seen something, or hear something, or any messages from friends about hearing something, just contact your local police services.
Still no sign of grief.
So we've got
Ear,
two.
no glabella, no
two-
chin boss, no tears, no grief. Go on, Karen.
We've got evidence of the last footprints at the side of the road, right? So effectively, these kids could have just walked up to somebody and been pulled in a car.
They could have done. It's not impossible.
Could also have been bought and paid for and planned that way. Could have
Well,
been not
it
bought
has
and paid
been
for and
touched
planned
on
that way.
that this could have been a premeditated thing. There are things to suggest that possibility. But I'm not going to I'm not going to go all in on it being premeditated. I just know from the rules of statement analysis alone that it happened before Friday morning. And these parents have guilty knowledge. That's what I know for a fact.
Are normal, responsible parents. I don't.
They're not at all.
We're just chatting here. Don't take offense. I'm not defending. Sometimes you've got to go at things from different angles to see how stupid they are when you say them out loud. It's just part of the process. So just to be clear, kids go missing, mum moves away, kid's still missing, and people are wondering why the search party was died down. Like if the mum can't be arsed looking, I imagine the government's went, she's moved where, and we're still looking for her kids. Yeah, all right. Shut that down. Yeah, no, don't worry, Indigo Girl. It's all good. It's all good. But
and the thing is, her kids are missing, and she's lying to the very people that can bring them back safe.
What about when it comes to body detective? When it comes to the behavioral analysis, does intelligence come into it? Like if you're just a total dumbass, right?
Oh, it absolutely does come into it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the thing is, it doesn't always come into it. I mean, people of low IQ, you can normally tell somebody of low IQ by the way they speak and just the general demeanor.
Okay.
But the thing is, where this is concerned, what people do is they do what worked for them growing up. So how people manipulate and deceive, they do what they had to do to get away with stuff with their parents. And then as they grow up, as their parents get to know them better, they come up with clever and more believable ways to deceive their parents. So, and we all do that. We're all guilty of that. So these two are doing what's worked for them growing up. So intelligence doesn't come into that. Where intelligence does come in is the complexity of your story and how well you've thought it out. These two clowns clearly haven't got their story straight very well. So, you know, these two clearly aren't Mensa material. I'm going to put my neck on the line and say you won't see.
Hang on. So when you say these two haven't got their story together, what do you think their story is? In fact, do you know what, Uber?
What do you want to know?
No. Let me rephrase that. Right, hang on a second. Interlight says there was a massive family argument on the Saturday night, so tension and stress could be blamed for the breakup. The mother has been told not to talk to the media. In my opinion, they are blaming one another. Okay, now, what do you think they're blaming each other for? Do you think they're blaming each other because they're like, oh my God, the kids are gone. Neither of us had anything to do with it. And they're trying to blame each other because they're dumbasses. And that was to the person who had commented. And to Uber, when you say that they haven't got their story straight, do you think they're trying to cover up? What is it? What do you think it is they're covering? What do you think it is?
I think I absolutely think they have guilty knowledge. In fact, I'm going to go all out and say I know they have guilty knowledge because everything that I've been taught tells me they have guilty knowledge.
Okay.
The fact that they have to come out with a narrative says that they have guilty knowledge. Why are you lying to the very people that can bring your kids home? So my first question is, why are you lying? Well, if you're lying, that implies that it's sensitive to you. Why is it sensitive? Because they know what happened. Their language suggests that they know exactly what happened.
Okay, so what do you so you think that maybe there's been an accident, or what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know what has happened to those kids. What I can shove all my chips on, as DD likes to say,
Okay.
deception detective, is that it happened before Friday morning, because the narrative starts straight away from the Friday morning. They're still in bed, so it clearly happened before then. But they have a window of it happening. Not only did it happen before Friday morning, both of those parents know what happened. Now, I can't speculate as to what did happen to those kids. I can tell you that when I was speaking to one of the investigators on Tuesday, I said to them, I think it's fair to say now that you now going to be having to shift into recovery rather than rescue. And he said to me, yeah, yes, that's what we're thinking. This was on Tuesday. So they knew.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused, right? Because it seems to me like an incredibly moronic pair have been dragging children up and seem to think they need to point the blame at each other because they left a door open.
Well, you see, there hasn't been any outright blaming, from what I can hear. I think they both know what happened, but whether they both did it, because I believe those kids are no longer with us. I absolutely believe they're deceased, and I believe that because both her and him have slipped into past tense when referring to the kids.
So
and
then,
when you hear past tense,
what do you think happened then? Do you think that the sliding
those,
story
I don't
and the kids?
know. I don't know, Ron. I honestly don't know. Any number of things could have happened because I don't have enough information.
Okay, so at this stage, you're just like, I smell a rat.
Oh, 100%. I smell a great big nest of rats, mate. Great big 6 foot ones wearing clothes and everything.
All right.
Big
All right.
ones.
Okay. So what to do is, if you can put the video back to the start for us again, and then play it from the start, and just let it play both of these sections, so we can now we've sort of heard the interpretation of the body language up to this point. Let's watch it through again and see if people get a different impression, because it took two plays for me.
What I want to do, because I really need to make this point, Ron, at the end of this. We're going to do right at the end of this. I'm going to play you another video, just 20 seconds of a video. All right, and then I'm just going to make a quick point, and then we can talk about whatever. Then, isn't it?
No, what you need to put this video back to the start for me, bro. Just play
I'm
through
doing
this.
That. I only have one hand, dude. I can only do one thing.
Just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up. I heard them playing in the next room beside us. And I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued, not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware, someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
The last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning, when we noticed that the children were gone, immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there. Very first day I wasn't around very much because I was just searching. I was running through the woods, screaming their name till my throat hurt. We were searching. We covered everywhere possible. Even in the first day we did. Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can, just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in a military outfit said I could go back into the woods. They hate being wet and cold, so they immediately would have came right back into the house. The only two prints are right beside the house facing the road, and then that's it. Post any officers they can get, head to New Brunswick border, PI border, and get them at every airport possible. Anybody who has any information, or you think you've seen something, or hear something, or any messages from friends about hearing something, just contact your local police services. Anything, guys, anything. Lean Jacker.
I mean,
awesome kids, very, very kind. They'll talk to anyone. They want to go with anyone. They're just looking to have as much fun as they can. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, and anything like that.
Oh no! All right, yeah, those are there, bro.
Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing it.
Keep pushing that narrative. Right now, I want you just to listen to this. Just please listen to this. We've listened to them. I just want you to listen to this.
You still there, bro? You there, River?
Listen. Is that you, Ron?
Yes. Who the heck is Ron? All right, hang on.
Right, let's play this again because we could hear you talking to somebody.
Yeah, no.
Right, I really need you to listen to this. Please just listen to this. It's only a few seconds, only 20, 30 seconds.
There's nothing playing, bro. Yeah, Uber, there's nothing playing on the screen, mate.
Really?
Yeah, if you're trying to play a different video, you need to click the tab at the top that says show this page. There you go.
Right. Need to listen. Have a listen to this.
On the search and on the missing person investigation. They've also been afforded supports. As of today, May 7th, the active search efforts to locate Lily and Jack will be scaled back. We're transitioning from a full-scale search to searches on more specific basis. Spaces have already been searched by our teams. We want to circle back to increase the probability that all clues have been found. And when transitioning from an active search to a scaled-back search, the probability of survival is taken into consideration. I want to assure you that our missing persons investigation continues. We're not packing up, and we're not giving up. Our investigation is broad, and it won't end until we know where Lily and Jack are and can bring them home. We'll continue to investigate and chase leads for as long as hard as we have to. We have the best investigators working every aspect of the file. We continue to appeal to anyone who have information related to our investigation and who has not yet spoken to us to contact the Pictou County District RCMP at 902-485-4333 or Crime Stoppers. Before I close, I want to read.
Can you hear that? That is Staff Sergeant Curtis McKinnon at a press conference telling them that they're having to scale the search back for Jack and Lily. You can hear more emotion, that raw emotion he's holding back. His voice is nearly breaking.
I'll be back in a
You
second.
can hear more emotion in his voice than what you hear in either of those parents. This guy has no connection to those children whatsoever.
You make a
Yet
good point.
You can hear more emotion coming through his voice. Now, if anybody is in doubt, you let that sink in and tell me I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the mum's moved away, that screams massive sussy problems for me. I'm not going to lie. I need to quickly phone Dan. I'll be 2 minutes, mate, and I'll be back. So just keep us going with your theory, and I'll be right back, mate. Okay.
All right, mate. So you hear Daniel pushing this now. I've been out there searching. I'm the one, because he's got this need to convince us how well he's doing. Look at me, everybody. I'm making all this effort. Don't look at me. I've done nothing wrong because I'm out here searching. Yeah, you're leading them in the wrong direction, in my opinion, mate. In my opinion, he knows exactly where those kids are. Now, he keeps referencing things like water and loud noise and mud. He says, because I even told RCMP, I told the investigator, I said, he's told you that the kids are wearing these clothes. I said, mate, I would not be looking for those clothes because I think he's deliberately telling you those clothes because they're not wearing them. I bet you found those kids wearing different clothes or nothing at all. And I said, he keeps referencing water, loud noises and mud. So I'm looking possibly at muddy waterfall that's noisy, or like a storm drain that goes underground that's really noisy and muddy. And I said I'll put money on those kids being found in water. I can't give you too much info. I can give you a little update. He said it was a great analysis, and thank you very much for reaching out. It's been very helpful. And that they have, I can tell you, they have their own behavior experts there now.
Who does? Who?
The RCMP. They have their own behavior experts, because I've been in touch with the RCMP myself. I got contacted by one of the investigators.
Okay.
And yeah, I was just giving the guys a little bit of a heads up. But as the case progresses, I can give you other details. I mean, bless him, he did try and like withhold as many details as he could, but even police officers aren't impervious to certain lines of questioning. So, but he did try his hardest to keep his cards close to his chest.
All right. Well, look, how about we do this, right? So, side chat. Put a 1 in the side chat if you think Uber and I are wrong. If you think that we're over speculating here and this is the parents knew nothing about it. Put a 2 if you think that we're right and that there's possibly signs of lying or there's just something weird going on, right? But then put a 3 in the side chat if you're like, this was premeditated. Also, where's Bio Daddy? Because if Mummy's run away, has she possibly just went to meet Bio Daddy after he's picked the kids up?
No, she's gone to stay with her mother, because apparently Daniel lives on the property with his mother and his brother or something, and they've kicked Malaya and her family off the property. This is all been reported. So that in itself is a massive red flag.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Deception Detective, by the way, statement analyst. Go check him out, guys. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant with statement analysis. So yeah, DD, go see him. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So, look, I think what we should do is let this cook for a day or two and then come back.
Yeah, I'm following this case. I am on this case. I've been on it since I heard about it.
Yeah. I hear what you guys are saying about Bev. Don't worry.
I heard about it through X. They posted the video of the mother to DD, to Deception Detectives thread, and I said, "Do you want a hand with this? Come on, two of us will work on this. We'll see if we can bring these little ones home." And I think about 16, 17 seconds in, and I just stopped. In fact, 29 seconds, I stopped the video, and I was straight back on X going, get in touch with her. She's got clearly knowledge. The mother knows. So I can see arrests coming very shortly because I know RCMP on this.
Yeah, it's interesting when you watch it the first time, right? I think that's a better thing to do, but you should have let it play through once and then be like, did you see anything there, kids?
Yeah, no, I was gonna, but then never mind. What I wanted to do was just have 15 minutes. And I would have introduced the whole thing, but never mind, or even 5 minutes.
All right. Well, look, I think you did a great job. I think you've done a really good job. I think I'd like to
have done a better one. I'd like to have done a more in-depth one if I could.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll come back to this week, Uber, right? Because.
Please, yeah, if you could, because I really want to. And there's a lot of interest in this case as well.
Uber is a community member who is a amateur statement behavioral analyst. Yeah. This is just two guys on the internet. One guy from the community, one guy who started the community, talking about a case. There's no professional diagnosis or anything like that.
No, absolutely not.
But I will say this, right? Oh, it's a bit weird, mate. It's all a bit fishy. Okay.
There's nothing normal about it, is it? It's fishy. If you don't know behavior analysis or statement analysis, it doesn't look right. And all you got to do is hear that raw emotion in Staff Sergeant McKinnon's voice, and that should clinch it for anybody.
Yeah.
He's not even a family member, and he's fighting.
Mother did look a bit swollen too, like her face was awfully red. That can be an indication of alcohol abuse. There's a whole other.
Yeah, I definitely think there's some bits and pieces involved.
I think we can all agree that there's definitely something fishy. Uber will be keeping this covered. If for some reason I wake up tomorrow and there's a madness, we'll jump on during the daily shows and things like that. I do believe that there is a bucket load of Diddy madness that's happened over the weekend. And just before the weekend that we need to touch base with, and of course we'll be back.
There's no courts at the weekend, is there? Or have they been carrying on with the courts?
There's been a bunch of people pulling apart stuff, and
okay.
And yeah, it says Tisa Tells. Is it Tisa Tells? She keeps drawing me in with her videos, man. If it's under like 8 minutes long, I'll be like, all right, I've got 8 minutes.
So there's some really good coverage of it as well. If any of you guys here ever watch the Behavior Panel live, one of the mods there, Sadie N, the Prime Minister of Behavior, she's been modding for them for the years. She's now got her own channel, and she's really good. She's really worth checking out if anybody wants to get to grips with the basics of body language.
Don't watch any other YouTube channels but this YouTube channel.
Oh, okay? No, I'll watch this one first, obviously.
I'm joking.
Watch this one first before you watch anyone else.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm trying to do my outro here. My food is sat here staring at me.
I'm sorry, bro.
No,
I'm good, but I'm not a mind reader. You got to let
it's
me know
all good. It's all good. So listen, we'll touch back on this, Uber, because like I say, you're going to be following this. If anything major happens, obviously we'll jump on it straight away. But this has been a really interesting one to get us started on the whole behavioral analysis format. And
I thought so, yeah, because there's so much here. And the thing is, I am emotionally involved in this now. I mean, I want to bring these little people home.
Yeah,
safe and sound, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Yeah, no, you got to separate that, otherwise you'll blow your head off one day. So
yeah, of course.
Look, thank you for being here, brother. Thank you to the mods.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Consider this a part one. And I think you did a good job, Uber. Well done. Well done.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, listen, thank you all to everyone in the side chat. Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
for
Much
being
love.
here. And we'll be back tomorrow covering the Diddy case and back on the grind with the live coverage. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being awesome. Thanks for being a great community, and lots to come this week. Ron's got promises to keep to you all, and he's planning on keeping them. So I will see you all tomorrow. Much love.
Much love, peeps. Bye.